answer. I don't know what's going to happen. We're working now on the inside, trying to pull it back together after turning it into a huge studio, keeping warm and keeping paint drying all winter. And it's a huge job putting it back. You know, it was just abused. And so, but we can't show, the outside's, it's not finished by a long shot, but it shows the potential. I think you can look at the outside and it looks like it's got a story. In fact, we can tell that because people stop by, not people from the outside world, but from the Maritime, and all of a sudden they're paying attention to us and thinking, wow, this is beautiful. And some people will just stand and gaze for a long time. So anyway, the answer to what's going to happen, I don't know. I'm hoping, and he's helping a tremendous amount, but he knows the trade of plumbing. And so he's helping us with some plumbing ideas that need to take place. So that's really great, but it's not anything that anyone would see that would really, pull us forward. But at the same time, it's just amazing to have somebody like that come. So we're very grateful. So after that, we're just going to hunker down and finish all the outside things that can be finished until we have another session. And that's the week before, the end of next week is the week before the week of our last week. Also just having time to make phone calls and calling people, inviting people, it's so hard to do it. Once you're in the day here, you're just, you finish at 1:30 in the morning and you just fall into bed and fall out and go forward. So, but I didn't want to make any arrangements until I figured we could be ready to have people come. So I think next week, maybe by Wednesday, I could call some of the people that we'd like to have come and see Yankee and see what happens with that. I think that if Adam, the owner of May Ship, knew that somebody said yes, and they could write it down, yes, we're taking Yankee under our steed, I think he would be fine. If they couldn't, if they had to wait till such and such is done, or some alterations in whatever location that is. So I'm just hoping that, I'm not hoping. Well, hope is a beautiful word. The definition of hope, have I ever told you? It's trust in God. And I thought, in God we trust, yes. And that is my hope. And I just feel that, the plan is in place. It's just a matter of us being ready to have it, come open for us. There are lots of people that are dying to come and see Yankee. And there are people who have good connections, who could, maybe make something happen in the right place. Even I'm mostly interested in a temporary location at the moment, because I want to be able to choose what options. I want to be able to make the best decision for Yankees forward movement, rather than someone who said. And in that period of time, we will have finished the starboard side. We're already able to work on the starboard side. We have all kinds of ways of doing that. And we've already started, actually. Before Anton left, he and Frederick did a whole drill on the shingles. We'll work on the base of the bowsprit and some other elements. And then I haven't worked on anything that I could be working on, like all the painting with these beautiful days of weather. But right now, I'm just getting the inside. And I don't care what the weather is, I have to get that done first. Because it's the most inexcusable. If the outside isn't finished, it's a work in progress, and they can see it. It's far enough along that they can see it. But the inside, it shouldn't be like this. So we're working at it. I don't think anybody's cruel enough to, or would want to cut us loose and, or say, well, your options are pay triple the price, or, we'll scrap it because it's on our property. So I don't think that'll happen. The owner of May Shipyard would give us a couple more weeks, maybe. And then he may do something like raise the rent, which is already astronomical for dockage. So, sort of a rhetorical question. I mean, if something doesn't sell and you have to sell, then you have to. But actually, the price has gone up because we've done all the things that were elements why we were marking it at the price we were marking it was because, well, dry dock is a big open question. What are they going to find? How much is it going to cost? Because no one knows that at that time. None of the exterior wasn't even on the list, and we've done this incredible rebuild. So, and the cost and the labor and all of that. I mean, who would do that for someone to then say saunter in to a beautiful finished vessel and say, I'll take it for a song. I would really like to not do that. Just patient. And the patience is a great thing because it's not, patience is a much bigger quality than just waiting. It's trusting. It's a kind of trust, I think. You can't be patient if you don't have trust. If it's like you're just, a wreck about something. You can only be patient, that quiet, calm feeling of trusting, if you have a bigger sense of trust. And not to be naive, though. We're listening every minute. What are we supposed to do today? Should we do this? Should we do that? Should we? And then most of the time it feels like, no, just focus on what you're doing, which is imperative, as imperative as it's preparing actually for the ushering in of people, is to have Yankee back in her perfect condition in the interior. So the whole passenger deck is just, a scramble right now. I still haven't got to as you see, the control room. But the cargo deck is, right now it doesn't look great because we're refinishing these workbenches, so everything's toppled on top of everything else. But by the end of the night, it's going to be all pulled together again, and I'll be moving into the control room and below decks. That's going to happen tomorrow, and down in the hold from all this work we've been doing up here, there's a ton of dust. It's been coming through the planks of the deck. So it's more than just tidying up. It's like really having to really go through everything.